Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
What's something you're glad your friend introduced you to? I feel like everything I like was introduced. I'm shit at discovering things on my own. But I'll say sushi. I was always the guy who gave people the Karen stare because they ate raw food. Until one day my friend told me to shut up and just try a piece. Now I'm planning to gorge myself on sushi as soon as the lockdown ends. New music. It's always hard for me to figure out what I like, and they helped give me so much from the experiences I got out of it. He introduced me to his closest friends, all really great people. Now we all have good times together and share so many things of mutual interest. It's really opened up my world in a way I hadn't previously thought possible. D&D. I would have never played otherwise, and it's so much fun. Same. For years, my friend from university suggested we play D&D during a weekend. Every time, I shot him down. Pretending to be an orc or an elf or a whatever the fuck wasn't my idea of a good time. Then a couple of years ago someone I was dating introduced me to it. And it was dope. Kill some goblins, eat some cheese, drink some beers. I'm not sure if it was the fact that I was older or the fact that I'd finally got over myself a little bit. But I got way into it. Way into it. A file of notes thicker than some novels into it. I finally got a chance to DM for the friend who'd kept pushing it all those years ago. We're at opposite ends of the country now, and it was incredibly fun. Even with the 10, what I told you so grin he had the whole time. Minecraft. I was mid-20s and they spent years trying to get me to play, but I thought it was a kid's game. I finally played one day and loved it so much that I spent the next 4 years way more into it than they ever were. There are just so many ways to play. You can treat it like a kid's game. You can play it like a kid. You can be an architect. You can be an engineer. Literally anyone can find something that interests them. Although I'd been a lifelong Stephen King fan, I had always avoided the Dark Tower series. A friend kept pushing me on them, insisting I would love them. Stephen King cowboys? No thanks. Finally he bought me the first 4 in a paperback gift set. Series is now one of my favorite reads of all time. I can't thank him enough for insisting. At work. Sleep. Seriously, I stayed up all night. Had shitty sleep hygiene and poor mental health. We lived together for 6 months and she helped me get on a sleep routine. Changed my life. Edit, many thanks. Anonymous. It's incredible just how much difference a decent sleep schedule can make. I haven't had to use an alarm in years now, and I always wake up at the same time and don't feel like shit. Not to mention just how much more productive during the day you can be. Settlers of Catan. My sister is notorious for buying people gifts they won't like, just to try and impose her own interests on other people. This time it actually worked. My husband and I have been playing a lot during the lockdown. My friend introduced me to the definition of narcissistic personality disorder. I was going through a lot with my family and constantly being gaslighted. She sent me articles all about it, and I never felt more relieved to know I wasn't insane and I was actually being severely manipulated. I had a friend that taught me that too. But the roles in the story are reversed. My friend was constantly manipulating and gaslighting me and everyone that cared about him. And my family and other friends that actually treated me and everyone else with respect taught me that kind of behavior is not normal and helped me break ties with that person. But as they say, mistakes are okay as long as you learn from them. So in a way, I guess I'm grateful for that experience. A friend of mine accidentally introduced me to the Hitachi magic wand when I was helping her move and it dropped out of one of the boxes. She was entirely nonplussed. I think she laughed and said, "My baby." I was somewhat of a prude at the time and was suitably scandalized at her being so open about having sex toys, especially the kind that you had to actually plug in like a fucking kitchen appliance. Yeah, that lasted all of 30 seconds after I bought one for myself on her later recommendation. Hoo boy. Magic the Gathering. I used to play when I was a kid and acquired a small collection. I haven't played for years and my cards sat in a box for well over a decade. Now my younger brother plays and it was great watching him go through them with excitement. Turns out some of them have been reprinted and are worth a bit. He was particularly excited that I had a bunch of unglued basic lands. So I gave them to him. I'd never have had any of these if my friend in school hadn't played. Honestly to myself, because I myself went in front of him and I wouldn't have discovered myself if he wasn't my friend. Stardew Valley. It changed my perspective on a lot of things surprisingly. Like turning children into doves. It can be productive. My friend very recently got me into the game and I now have over 40 hours in the span of 2 busy weeks. It's taught me about what spending money to make money truly means. Spending $40,000 on blueberries and making $200,000 by the end of the month. Happiness. I was deeply depressed and in a bad state until I met my now closest friends. After meeting them, I was able to finally get better and am now in a place where I can be happy. Nice birthday gifts. Before I met them I'd never really gotten much birthday gifts. I've always been the kind of person that always gets close people birthday gifts, but my friends bought me a teddy bear for my birthday and came to my home to hide it in my cupboard after I left for school. Then later when they saw me at school all 4 of them gave me stuff like earrings, rings, chokers and all that. Explosion boxes too, with my pictures. Their writings. Our pictures together. Best friends I could ever ask for. I'm blessed. I started living with my best friend cause we went to same city for college. She introduced my stubborn mind to accepting things I don't necessarily agree with. She taught me silently how to be a better listener. How to judge less. She taught me to enjoy silence and how meaningful silence can be. Only 2 people who are completely comfortable with each other can stand in silence and not be annoyed or uncomfortable. In return I taught her to stood up for what she believes. To be a better speaker. I showed her how fun the noise can be. I introduced her to my friends. 'Cause she had just one beside me. A good friendship between 2 people who are complete opposites in everything they are and do can change both of your lives for better. Buying better clothes. I used to buy everything at Goodwill even though I saved up enough money to spend it. Nothing matched and it didn't fit properly. Eventually my friend took me out. Told me to take some pride in my looks. And bought me new clothes. Looking back, I looked like the definition of a poor virgin. Thanks Adam. The Smashing Pumpkins. Before that my taste in music and what I listened to was wholly dictated by my brother and his elitism. My friend really opened my mind and I feel like when I first heard Today, it was when I came of age. It really was the greatest day. Board games. Too bad after I'm married and got my son we never hang anymore. I kinda miss spending a whole day playing board games with my friends. D&D. After initially disliking it after my first session I'm so glad I gave it another go. It's really helped me start getting creative with things again. Plus it's keeping us busy during quarantine. Our group just finished a campaign I joined on the tail end of and I'm really excited to be part of the new long-term campaign from the very beginning. Thai food. My friend's parents had been stationed in Thailand for the Peace Corps. We went to a Thai restaurant and it blew my mind. There is a god and he's Thai and he wants us to be happy, was all I could think after my first bite. Anime. Was finally able to grow out a beard but for some reason it's just growing around my neck. Bass. My friends play drums and guitar and they needed a bassist. I have never touched any instrument before and I didn't know anything about music but they really wanted me in the band so I tried it and to this day I play hours and hours on my baby. It's the best thing ever. My career. I hated my old job. Landscaping. And he got me in at the company he worked for as a network technician. 7 years later both of our pay rates have doubled. And we're still partners at our 3rd company together. Leslie Sansone's walk at home workout. Super cheesy, I know, but it got me into other fitness and take my life back in control after years of low self-esteem. Depression and emotional eating. That's awesome. I actually saw an old friend from 1989 on one of those fitness infomercials. She got her body transformed after holding on to pregnancy weight. Now she's a kick-ass trainer. If cheesy works, it works. Rock climbing. 8 years later, and it has taught me so many valuable skills, mentally and physically, and given me so much. Some of the things climbing has given me: it has introduced me to competing in a sport. Got me into training and fitness. I've met some of my best friends through climbing. I've been working in the industry for the last 3 years, and that in itself has been an adventure, plus outdoor climbing has allowed me to do some awesome trips and see some beautiful places I otherwise may not have traveled to. Climbing has truly shaped who I am and changed my life. I will always be a climber and can't see my life without climbing. You all should try it if you haven't already. Harry Potter. I was in my 20s when the series was released. I figured that it was some dumb kid's books. He bought me the first 4 books. When I finally got around to reading them, I was hooked. My enjoyment has outlasted the friendship. I hope that he's doing well. I love dive bars. I used to go to them and read. I was reading the 4th book in a biker bar in northern Minnesota. There was a group of a dozen bikers, all wearing the same vest. The tall guy in the middle yelled over at me, "Hey, what are you reading?" I yelled back, "Did you get to the part where, spoilers redacted?" And that is how I had a 15-minute conversation in a biker bar about Harry Potter. And received several free beers. My best friend has a deep appreciation for nature. I can't quite explain it. But she just always sees beauty in everything. We'll be talking and suddenly she'll gasp and say, PM_me_statistics. Do you see this flower? It's so beautiful. Haha. Her joy and her ability to see beauty in everything is something I've slowly adopted by being around her so much. Podcasts. I had listened to a few episodes of a metal show on my Zune HD years ago and thought the format was neat. Like radio on demand. It wasn't until my friend recommended checking out a history podcast on Spotify years later that I really got into it. Now I listen to them daily. Probably more than music. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. See you next time.